Boys, I tried to tell ya what's up, my dudes. Sexton just being Sexton, man. That's what this video's all about right now. Whoa, settle down, boys. Settle down. Holy shit. Dude. Oh my god, you gotta love how much of a savage this AI is in this game when, you don't start on the inside of everybody, okay? Alright, so, yeah, wow, what a shocker. Sexton, gets out front in a 450 main event and crashes. Whoa, nobody expected that. Whew, so this is becoming all too familiar for Chase Sexton. I know, people want to defend and things of that nature, but this is exactly what I was trying to tell you boys before this season started, okay? I felt like everybody and their grandmother was thinking that Chase Sexton was going to be as good as he was in outdoors last year, like basically right there beside Tomac, battling for the championship the whole entire year, getting wins left and right, I felt like everybody thought that he was just going to, directly carry that over to the 2023 Supercross season. Like, oh, boys, you better watch out. Sexton's going to be like he was in outdoors last year. And I remember saying specifically in a video before this Supercross season even started, I said in that video, it doesn't always carry over like you think it would. You know what I mean? Just because a guy starts being really good in outdoors doesn't mean that it's going to carry directly over and he's going to be that same exact way in the very next Supercross season. This is what I was trying to tell you guys, I felt like a lot of people had like Tomac and Sexton as the, like the big favorites coming into this Supercross season. And, up to this point, like Sexton's had a couple of decent rides in 450 Supercross, but like he's not really had a solid stretch of like he's going to be a real championship contender in 450 Supercross. He's yet to prove that. So that's what kind of twists me the wrong way about any of these sort of predictions. It's whenever people start trying to hype somebody up or they start trying to make these certain predictions like that haven't even been proven yet. You know what I mean? It hasn't even been proven that that rider can even do that, but people think they're going to do that. You know what I mean? It's like with Chase Sexton, he's really proved in 450 Supercross is that, yeah, he's got speed. Yeah, he can get out front. Yeah, he can lead a main event for a certain amount of time, but more times than not, he crashes out front when he gets out front of a 450 Supercross main event. For whatever reason, that's all Chase Sexton has really proved so far in 450 Supercross. So there was absolutely no reason to think that he was going to come right in and be battling right there with Tomac every round and just pick up right where he left off in outdoors. It doesn't work that way, guys. I've been trying to tell you that, and some people just don't want to hear the truth. I don't know what the deal is, but it's even the same way with Hayden Deegan. It's like, or any of these riders, Ken Roxon, whoever it is, like, you want to be very careful about trying to get this certain idea in your head that that rider is going to go out there and do something that they never have done before. Like all them people that thought that Ken Roxon was going to go out there and win this championship in 2023 on that new, progressive Suzuki, because, everybody's all hyped up about Ken Roxon on the Suzuki, and all the media got everybody hyped up like he's going to be this totally different rider. He's going to go back to like he was when he was on the Suzuki before, even though he's never won a 450 Supercross title. But I swear, I did that poll on my channel, and people had Roxon like being the second place dude to win the 2023 Supercross championship for no good reason other than hype level and what the media was hyping up Ken Roxon to be. And we've seen how that's turned out so far. Roczen's gotten on the podium one time. He's gotten one third place, and it was at a Triple Crown race. Okay? So you boys need to be very careful with that. That's the only problem I ever have when some people want to get into predicting things. It's like, you just got to be careful about thinking that one of these riders is going to go do something that they've never done before. It's like a lot of people are trying to predict like these certain riders are going to have these like breakout years and things like that. And it's actually pretty rare that that happens. Like, you can say that Sexton had a breakout outdoor, championship last year for sure. You can definitely say that. You can say that Chase Sexton is improving on the bike overall. But when it comes specifically to Supercross 450 main events, not necessarily talking as much about Triple Crowns because they're just weird and different. They're not like the long form 20-minute plus main events, you know what I mean? But specifically in that, Chase Sexton hasn't really proved anything. He hasn't really proved he can go out there and, stay in the points chase with the Eli Tomac all the way through a 450 Supercross championship, all the way through 17 rounds. He has never proved that before. The same way with Ken Roczen. He has never proved that he is really going to be in that championship fight all the way through the championship. He's never proved that before. Chase Sexton pulls the whole shot in the Tampa main event. I know the track was a little bit slick from the rain, but there was actually a spot where Webb almost crashed in the whoops trying to catch up to Sexton. I literally think it was like the lap before Sexton crashed in the whoops, or like 2 laps before or something like that. It was pretty shortly there before Sexton crashed. So I'm kind of thinking there might have been like something developed in that whoop section, or one of the whoops changed a little bit, or something happened right there for sure, or they were hitting like a different line or something, because, like Webb was, he was so close to crashing in them whoops. If you watch that main event, he got completely squirrely in them, almost crashed, went totally off of the track, somehow saved it. And then it was like the very next lap, Sexton went out there and did the exact same thing and actually ended up totally crashing off the bike and totally going off of the track, right? And then that allowed Webb to get out front and go out there and win the main event. Okay? But I'm just saying, Sexton has had a history of this. I even said in that main event, I was talking to my girl, I was like, Sexton probably going to crash out front. I believe that James Stewart predicted that Sexton would crash out front before the main event ever happened. I mean, it's to the point where you can just about predict that now. Like, there's probably more of a chance, like if Sexton pulls the whole shot and he's just out front in a 450 main event, there's more of a chance that he's going to crash out of the lead than he's going to just finish the race in front and win the race. There is literally more of a chance that he would crash out than he's going to go out there and win the race. And he just proved it again. And it's not me trying to take anything away from these guys. It's not me hating on any of these guys, James Stewart can go in there and talk about, Ken Roczen. He's got to get more aggressive. If he doesn't get more aggressive, he's not going to be able to do anything. He goes out there and predicts Chase Sexton's going to crash out front. But when Spency Boy says stuff like that, then everybody wants to get their pennies in a wad, and oh my God, what's Spencer talking about? He's such a hater. But then Stewart can go out there and say very similar things to what I've been saying, and everything's all good because it's James Stewart, okay? But it's like, at the end of the day, it's just like, guys, you got to be so careful with your hype level in Supercross because anything can happen, Whether it's Hayden Deegan, whether it's Chase Sexton, whether it's, hell, Eli Tomac. He had that crazy crash. Luckily, he didn't get hurt, but he's also had a lot of really good results all the way through the first start of the season. He's just like win after win after win. Not really sure what happened to him in Tampa. He was just kind of Just kind of that weird middle-of-the-pack tomac, you know what I mean? But the track was slick, it was wet, yada, yada, yada. But at this point, like, Sexton has proved to be that kind of guy right now. And it's not me saying that he's never going to figure it out or like, whoa! It's not me saying that, you know, everybody thinks just because I say one thing, then it means that I'm saying this other thing, you know, which is never the case. Like, me saying that Sexton's not really going to do it this year doesn't mean that I'm saying he's not going to figure it out in the next couple of years, because I'm sure he will. You know, it's kind of the same way with Hayden Deegan. It's like, just because I say he's not going to go out there and be absolutely bad to the bone right off the bat, doesn't mean that I'm saying Hayden Deegan's never going to be good. It's the same way with Ken Roczen. Just because I say I don't think he's going to go out there and be as good as what a lot of you boys thought he was going to be right away on that Suzuki, that's not me saying that he can't go out there and get a win, or he can't figure the bike out over a couple years and be at least decent. You know, people like to add all those things in, especially when they're, you know, it's funny how that always happens when they're a big fan of that certain rider. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to speak as much truth as humanly possible. That's it. I'm trying to look at what that rider's done previously. You know, a lot of the Deegan fans like to try to sweep under the rug that he had an absolute disastrous first pro motocross race, the worst kind of first pro motocross race that you could possibly have. That's what Deegan had, okay? He goes out there, I think he might have got like a 9th or something in his second pro motocross race. But then he goes out there in his future Supercross race, crashes, gets 5th. So, like, there was definitely reasons to think that Hayden Deegan, you know, might struggle, or he might have some crashes, or he might, you know, get injured or crash off the bike, or things like there's a lot of history and evidence of Deegan potentially being like that, you know? But it's when certain people get way too into that fanboyism, it's like they want to sweep all of the bad things that these certain riders have done. They want to sweep all that under the rug like they never did any of that. And then they just want to praise them and only look at their good results and the good things that they've done on the bike. I'm trying to look at all of it, you know? It's like, yeah, I'm saying Sexton did good in outdoors, but for Supercross, he hasn't really proved a whole lot yet. So there was no real reason to think that he was going to go out there and be able to do that. Guys, there just wasn't. Like, and it's the same way with Roczen. You know, if you look at all of his stuff he's done over the last few years, and him having all the injuries and everything like that, why the hell would you think that Roczen was going to go out there and potentially win the Supercross championship this year when you got guys like Tomac and Webb that have already done it multiple times? It don't make any sense. But most of the riders this year have proved to be, you know, about what you expected. Like, Tomac's doing his Tomac thing. Sexton's doing his get out front and crash thing. Roczen's doing his, he's pretty good at the first few rounds, and he's starting to fall off the map here. He's doing his thing that he's known for. Malcolm Stewart's crashed out. He's doing what he's known for. Jason Anderson is on probation for aggressive riding. He's doing what he's known for. You know, it's just like, it's all like happening what you think these riders would do and what they're known for doing. That's basically what they're doing. And even if you look at Hayden Deegan, it's like he even got, I'm pretty sure, a top 10 in outdoors last year. So if you cut the competition in half, like going to one coast of Supercross, then it's really not that crazy to think about Deegan getting a top 5. He still hasn't gotten a podium. And that's what I said he would have to do in the first pro Supercross race to fully live up to that hype level. He still hasn't done that. Yeah, he's won a heat race, but he's also crashed a lot. When you look at his whole pro career, he's crashed a lot. So you just got to take it all into account. That's all I'm saying. But we just get to that point where people get so much of a fanboy about certain riders, and again, they don't want to look at any of their negatives. They just want to look at their positives. That's about exactly what Sexton did in the Tampa main event. So anyways, let me wrap this video up here. I don't know much more of what there is to say, but you know, Sexton and Roczen are doing exactly what I thought and predicted they would do before the season started. They are doing it to an absolute Turley tea-sipping tea. You know what I mean?